Hello everyone, today I am going to discuss the question 15 of my web development practical video series. It's also the second question of the third day of the question list. Let's go to our question list, and here you can see under day 3, here's the question 1. We discussed the question 1. Let's go to question 2. Okay, here's the question 2. Now I'm going to read the question first and let's review my code. Okay, in this question you have to program the web page that you designed in the previous question. This is the previous web design we created. It must be done in accordance with the following conditions. Okay, we use the set values to the system section to set values to the system. Okay, any kind of value can be used for that. The check value from the system section is used to access the main page using the data that you previously set to the system. Okay, now we can use the set value section, which is the white color area. We can enter any values and set that value in the system. That means we can store that values in a database, and after that if you enter the same values into the input fields in check values field, which is the blue color area, and then press the check value button, the user can access the main page. Okay, now go to the let's go to the examples here. For an example, this is the first instance. In the set value section, suppose that we enter admin and admin123 into the system. Enter your code 1 and enter your code 2 respectively. Then you should be able to access the main page with the same data using check values. Okay, if you enter this is an example. If you enter the value or the text admin into the enter code 1 and admin123 into the enter code 2 and set that those two values, and after you enter the same values into the check value input fields, you should be redirected to the main page. Okay, that's the idea. In the second instance, here the second one, but I explained that in the set value section, suppose that we enter user and user 123 into the system, enter your code 1 and enter your code 2 respectively. Then you should be able to access the main page with that same data using check values. Okay, that's another scenario. You should be able to see the data you entered after accessing the main page. You can't enter empty values as data for both sections. That means we have to validate these two parts whether to check whether the fields are empty when someone click on the set value or check value buttons. Okay, let's go to my answer. Okay, here in my previous video I showed you this design. We designed this web page in the previous one, but in this case we have to program this website. Okay, here I'm going to set two values like client, and here's the next value client 123, and I'm going to set that value in the system. Okay, new value registered. That's the code, and you can see when there's a correct value inserted, it reset the fields automatically. This is the database. Here we are in the HDSQL browser, and here's the database I created to store the values in the input field. So here is a table called val, that means the value, and here are the attributes. I assign an ID to identify the records in this table uniquely, and here are the other attributes, code 1 and code 2. Code 1 means the text or in value inside the first input field, and code 2 means the second input field. So here are the data. You can see here are the data I inserted. Here's the last data. You can see client is the value in code 1, and client 123 is the code in second input field. You can see my database will store those data if the data is there. Here's the database, and I'm going to show you what happened when someone click on the set values without inserting any value. Here you can see there's the error message. You need to fill both fields. Okay, that means we have to fill all the fields. We cannot left behind any field. Okay, now I'm going to enter the same value I entered to the set value input fields. Okay, client 123. Okay, now let's check these values. You can see value check registering to redirecting to home page. That means our values are correct. So let's click on the OK button. You can see we are in the home page, and that's how my web application works. And let's review our code. Okay, I'm going to the Visual Code Studio. Here we are in the Visual Code Studio. Let's go to the index page, and here's the index page of my web application. You can see I showed this code earlier in my previous video. These are very simple HTML codes, and here you can see this is the set value part, and here's the check value part. And also you can remember we linked Bootstrap and my own custom CSS file in order to make the website responsive and more attractive. Okay, now I'm going to show you the JavaScript file, because in this file I insert IDs, actually different IDs into these input fields, so I can extract the values inside that input fields using that ID. Now let's go to our JavaScript file. Here you can see there's a function called set values in the index.php file, and it's the set value button. That means if someone click on this button, set values, it will execute that function, the set values function. Now I'm going to show you what is that function do, and let's go to the JavaScript file. Okay, here you can see on the top of this file I created a new set of variables, JavaScript variables, and I assign the HTML elements, actually in this case the input elements, using that ID I gave to that element. Okay, so after that, here you can see in the line 7 there's the function called set values. Okay, this is the function that will going to execute after someone click on the set value button. And here you can see I created new two variables and inserted or assigned the values inside that element. In this part you can see sec1 field means this variable name. That means that variable I stored the input element in that variable, so I call that input element using the variable name. And here you can see it is not going to assign that element to a new variable. It's going to store the value. It will extract the value out from that input element and store the value inside a new variable called sec1. And here you can see I did that part to the sec2. After that, here I created the Ajax object. I explained why we use Ajax object in my previous videos. Actually, I explain in detail how to use Ajax object in a project. But if you didn't know, simply Ajax object used to send details from client side to server side or request a specific server side file without reloading the client's or user's home page. That's why we use the AJAX method. So it will send a request, and after the process it will come back with the response without knowing or without reloading the user's current page. Okay, that's why I use the AJAX method. And after that, here you can see here I mentioned, let me skip these set of these lines of my code starting from code 12 to code 25. I'll explain after I explain what happened in the what will happen in the server side. Okay, here you can see I added an open method to my object. Here you can see I call the object using the variable I assigned that object, which is R. And after that you can see here I mentioned the method I want to send these details. I am sending these details using the get method, and after that here is the destination. You know, if you use get method, you have to combine the data you are going to send with the request to the URL. So that's why when I'm mentioning the URL, I combine the variables sec1 and sec2 to the URL using this question mark, and after that here's the name I give to the sec1 value. It's also the sec1, and here's the next one sec2, and after that you can see there's another new value called key, and here I combine the text as well to that key. So those three details will send to the server side, and after that I command the object to send the request. If this code line executed, the AJAX object will be requested to the details will be requested to the server side. Okay, now let's go to the server side file. Actually I I told you I named this file a server side file because this file only execute on in the server side or server side environment, not in a client side computer, because PHP language is only PHP language can only executed in a Apache environment or PHP environment, which is the server. The server is the computer which will run the PHP file. PHP is not a language which will execute in a client-side browser. Okay, in the process.php file, and here you can see in the on the top of this file I created the connection to my database. Here's the database name, db-webdev-dq-tools. SC means the database name. And after that, here you can see there's a if condition. It will check if there's a value will come to this file or requested to this file called key, and also it will check if the value of the key is equal to S well. If those two conditions are met, it will execute only these set of code lines starting from code 5 to line 5 to line 25. Okay, after that you can see there's another else if condition. If those two conditions not met, it will check the second condition set. If those conditions are not met, it will execute this else part, and that's it. Okay, let me explain the second condition in later in this video. Let's review this part first. Okay, this is the part which will execute when we click on the set value button, because it will execute this part of the function, and you can see it will send the value key, and also its value is equal to S well. So that means it will execute this part. And in here you can see when it's executing, here's another if condition. It will check another set of conditions. You can see it will check if the value which will come in get method, which is the sec1 value, is empty. That means if there's a value called sec1, if there's a name called sec1 which will come to the server side, and if the value which will come combined to that name is empty, and also here this is the O operator, this is the AND operator, and this is the O operator. O means if one of these conditions are met, not it's no need to met to these two conditions, these both two conditions. If only one condition is met, it will execute this part. If you define an AND operator, it means these two conditions should met to execute the lines inside that code. Otherwise it will not execute that one, it will go to the next step. Okay, here you can see it will check if the sec value 1 is empty or sec value 2 is empty. If both of the sec value 1 or sec value 2 is empty, it will execute only this part of the code and it will output this text. You need to fill both fields. That means these code enter code 1 and enter code 2 fields are empty, because the values in these fields will send to the server side in the name of sec value sec1 and sec2. Okay, so that's how I checked I did the validation to check whether the values are empty. So after that, here you can see if the values are not empty, it will execute the else part. Here's the else part, and in the first line you can see I created two separate PHP variables and assigned the values which will come in the get method called sec1 and sec2 to separate variables. And after that, here's the select query. It will select. Here you can see I check whether there's a value inside our database related to the sec value and sec1 and sec2 values. That means it will check if the value is already registered, so it will not going to register that again. So here you can see I executed that one, and when you executing a select query, it will there will be a result set. It's usually that result set will be in a table format, and after that after that I calculate the number of rows or number of records in that result set, and I store that the number of rows in this new variable called snor. Okay, after that here there's another if and else there's an if else ladder, and in the if condition you can see it will check if snor is equal to 1. That means there's a record in the result set. That means the value is stored or value is registered, already registered in the database. If there's if the snor is not equal, that means there's no value recorded in the database equal to the values the user set to the input fields into these two fields. So if there's a value, it will execute only this part, this echo part, so there's an error value already registered, so it's not going to register those values again. User can insert that values into the check value part directly. If there's no value inserted in the database, it will execute this else part. Here you can see here's the insert query. I created the insert query to the database. I will show you the database later, and after that I executed that one. That means I inserted both sec value and sec1 and sec2 values into the database, and after that it will echo this line. It will output this value number 1. If someone click on set value button, and the output from this process.php file is equal to 1, that means there is a new value and it's registered, so it will output that value. And let me go to the JavaScript file. Now I'm going to explain these code lines I skipped earlier, starting from code line 12 to 25. Here you can see I check whether the state is the state of the Ajax object is I check the state of the Ajax object. That means when you use an Ajax object and it requested to the server side, we approximately we can say there are 4 states. It will change its state 4 times when you request to a server side file. So we can say the state 1 is leaving the client side to the server side with a request, and the second one is reaching the server side, and the third one is waiting until the process is done, and after the process is done, the fourth part is coming back with the response or the output from the process file to the client side. Okay, we can say those are the 4 states, and you can see we need only the 4th one, because we need the output, which is the we need to know which is the output from the process.php file of the process.php file. Okay, so I check that using this part. You can see I check that part using a if condition. If the state is equal to 4, that means data is returned, the outputted data is returned with the response to the client side, and if the state is equal to 4, it will execute this part, and if it's not equal to 4, it will do nothing. Okay, let's see what happened when the data is here. I created a new variable called text, and I assign the response text, actually the output which will come from the server side in that text variable. Okay, after that, here you can see I wrote another if condition, and it will check if the value inside the text variable is equal to 1. That means I check the process is the process is okay. Only the number 1 means the process is completed and there's no error. If there's an error, it will execute, it will output only the error code. So if the output value is equal to 1, that means the data is inserted. So it will after that it will show this alert, new value registered, and here you can see these are the codes responsible for resetting our input fields. You can see sec field dot value, and here's a empty value. So I command the file, when these 2 lines executed, it will empty the value inside these 2 input fields. So if the value is not equal 1, it will only show the alert with the value inside the text. The value, if the value is not equal 1, so the value could be one of these. You need to fill both fields. Values are values already registered like that. Those are error code, so it will show the error code in an alert. Okay, and that's how the set value part works. This part works. So let's go to the check value part. Here let's go to the index page, and here you can see this is the check value area. It's going to be the same as the set value part, so I'm not going to discuss in detail about this check value part. I extract the input values in the input fields using the ID, and let's go to the JavaScript file. But before, here you can see when someone click on the check value button, this button, someone click on this button, it's going to execute a check values function. So let's review that check value function. Here's the check value function. First we told about we explained we discussed about the set value function, and here's the check value function. Okay, it's going to be the same. So it stores the values in the input fields in separate variables, and after that here's the ajax object, and with that ajax object it will going to transfer or send these details to the server side process.php file with these two values using the variable names. Here you can see I call the variable names and attached that value into a name when I'm sending the data. And here you can see there's another new value called key, and its value is cval. Previously we sent sval, and here when the check value function execute, it will send the key and its value cval. Okay, that's the difference. And let's go to the process.php file, and here you can see if the key the value of the name key is not equal sval, it is not going to execute this part, it's going to execute this part, the cval part. Here you can see it will going to execute this one because there's a name called key, and also the value of that name is equal to cval. Okay, when this part executing, here you can see there's a if condition, and it will check if the sec1 and sec2 values are empty. If none of these value are not empty, it's going to execute this else part. If one of these values or one of these input fields are left behind, or user didn't insert data into one of these files, one of these input fields, it will execute only this echo. Here you can see there's an error message, you need to fill both fields. Okay, that's going to show when someone didn't insert details. Okay, after someone insert details, it will store those two details in input fields to separate PHP variables. Here you can see the value which will come as the name sec1 and sec2 in get method will be stored separately in two different variables. And after that, here you can see there's a select query. Again, I use the select query to check these two values, whether these values are recorded in the database. So after I executed this query using the database connection, the outputted result set will be stored in a new variable called SRS. And after that, I checked the number of rows in that result set and stored that number in a different variable. After that, here you can see there's another if condition. It will check whether the SNOR, that means the the number of rows in the result set is equal to 1. If the number of rows is equal to 1, that means there's a record related to the details user added to the check value input fields. So if there's a record, it will output this value number 1, and if there's no no such value recorded in the database, that it will execute this error code, no such values found. Okay, that's the process of this part in the process.php file. When someone click on the check value function, and after it execute the check value, this check value function. Okay, here after the data is processed, the output will be sent back to the client computer. So I check whether the details or the output is reach the client computer. If the client computer the details reach the client computer, it will execute this part, because I check that using a if condition. Here ready state is equal to 4. The ready state is equal to 4, it will execute this one. Like in the previous Ajax object, here I created another new variable called text and stored the response text, which is the output text, into this variable. And after that, here I check that text variable, the value in the text variable is equal to 1. That means there's a record, so it will execute this alert values checked, redirecting to home page. That means that's the success message. So he will be redirected to. After that, here you can see I called another function, go to home. That function will redirect the user to the home page. So here you can see that function, go to home, window.location equal home.php. So it will change the user's URL to home.php file. Okay, if the value in the text variable is not equal 1, that means there's no record, or there's more than one record. That means there's an error, so it will execute this alert. You can see the values inside that alert is the value which will come from the server side as the output. Okay, that's how the check value function works, and I show you how my website work using two buttons. Using these two set value and check value parts. And I think that's it for this video, and thank you very much for watching. Let's see you in a next video.